Hi Grange Park, so it's now time for part 3 of our Diary of a Wimpy Kid story. So we ended with the little boy being a bit worried about having to go to Grammy's for the talk. Okay, so here is Thursday. We got a new maths teacher at our school named Mrs. McElroy. She used to teach kindergarten, and I don't think she's really crazy about middle school kids. We have maths right after phys ed, so by the time we get to Miss McElroy's room, everyone's all sweaty from exercising. Mrs. McElroy complained to the principal and said she can't teach when it smells like a monkey house in the room, so the principal said that from now on us kids have to take a shower after the gym. Well, I can tell you that most of the boys in my class were not on board with that decision. The only person who was okay with it was Roger Townsend, but he was held back twice as he's practically a man anyway. So the rest of us decided we were going to have to fake it. After phys ed was over yesterday, we all took turns of getting our hair wet so it looked like we'd showered. I don't know if we really fooled Mrs. McElroy, but I don't think she's ever going to go into the boys' locker room and investigate. This showering situation reminds me of something that happened over the summer, when me and Rowley were still friends. I used to go up to Rowley's house just about every day, but the problem was that I had to walk past Fregley's house each time. I remember Roderick saying that a person could make it all the way from our house to the top of the hill by crawling through a drainage pipe. I decided to see if he was right, and believe it or not, he was. It was pretty dark and nasty in the drainage pipe, but it was totally worth crawling through it to avoid Fregley. When I headed back home, I went through the drainage pipe again. But I probably should have hosed off in the front yard or something, because Mum seemed suspicious when I walked through the front door. I knew Mum would have a fit if she found out I'd crawled through the drainage pipe, so I didn't say anything, but Mum told me I was going to have to take a shower before dinner. When I got out of the bathroom, there was something sitting on my bed. I opened it up and found a stick of deodorant and a book. What the heck just happened to my body? I put the deodorant on my dresser, but I tossed the book in the trash. I'd seen that one before. Mum must have got the same book for Roderick when he was my age, and I found it in his junk drawer. And believe me, I do not need to see the pictures in that book for a second time. And what's worse is that Mum made me the subject of her parenting column in our local paper that week. She didn't use my actual name, but I don't think it would have taken a detective to figure out who she was talking about. Puberty can be a difficult time. When a child begins to experience the changes that come with adolescence, and the transformation will be uncomfortable, awkward, or even frightening. But given the right guidance, a child can learn to welcome and even celebrate the transition into adulthood. My second-born son recently began his wondrous journey into his new... And that's where it cuts off. Sunday. Tonight, Mum called a house meeting, and whenever she does that, it's never good. The last time we had a house meeting, it was so she could complain about the situation in the bathroom. She said she was tired of having to clean the floor around the toilet because of our lousy aim. I knew exactly what she was talking about too. One time I actually missed the buzz because I used the bathroom after Manny. All I can say is, I'm not the one causing the problem. When Roger uses the bathroom, half the time he doesn't even turn on the light. Mum said the new rule was that us boys were going to have to sit down every time we used the bathroom, no matter what. But none of us guys liked that idea. Roger suggested we buy a couple of urinals, since there are more of us than there are of her. Plus, that way, more than one person could go at the same time. But Mum said that would be tacky, and she used her veto power to shut his idea down. I thought tonight's house meeting was going to be a follow-up to the bathroom meeting, since nobody was following the sitting down rule and things are worse than ever. But this meeting was about something completely different. Mum told us that she was going back to school and that she was going to start taking classes in a few weeks' time. Well, I was totally caught off guard by the news. Mum's always there when I get home from school, and that's the way I like it. But Mum said that after all these years of staying at home with us kids, she needs to do something that stimulates her mind. So she said she's going to take classes for a semester and see how it goes. I guess I can understand why mums would want to branch out, because if I did the kinds of things she does every day, I'd probably be going bananas too. Mum said us men are going to have to make our own dinners a few nights a week and start doing chores that she usually takes care of herself. One of those chores is making lunches, and to be honest with you, I'm pretty happy that one is getting turned over to us. Mum writes a note on our lunch bags every day, and I can definitely live without that. Dear Gregory, have a healthy, happy day. Love, Mum. Wednesday. Okay, so the first few nights with Mum away have been a disaster. We tried making dinner on our own on Monday, but none of us knew what we were doing. Manny was in charge of making the iced tea, but it was undrinkable since he stirred it with his bare hands. Roderick was in charge of cooking the roast beef, but he forgot to take the plastic wrap off before putting it in the oven. Why is this meat shiny? So he scrapped the homemade meal idea and went out to eat. When we left the restaurant, Roderick spat his gum at some moths that were flying around, and he hit Dad by accident. Dad traced Roderick round the parking lot, but Roderick is actually pretty fast and Dad couldn't catch him. Then Dad tripped over a curb and twisted his ankle. So Roderick had to drive Dad to the emergency room. When the doctor asked Dad how he hurt his ankle, Dad said he wasn't looking where he was going and he stepped on one of Manny's trucks in the driveway. I can kind of understand why Dad didn't want to tell the truth. One time I broke my wrist and I told everyone I broke it in a fist fight. What really happened was that I tried to stand up after my legs fell asleep from sitting on the toilet too long, but I liked my version better. So it's only been a few days without Mum, and things are really starting to fall apart. We've got one serious injury so far, and who knows what else is in store down the road. Thursday. We brought back leftovers for the spaghetti barn, and that's what we had for dinner tonight. Dad had to stay late at work, so he called Roderick and told him to warm up everyone's spaghetti in the microwave. Roderick gave me my plate first, and when he did, he said, "Careful, it's hot." I blew on my spaghetti for a while to cool it down. What I didn't know was that Roderick had never actually heated my spaghetti in the microwave. He just pretended to. So when I bit into a meatball, it was ice cold. After that experience, I doubt I'll ever be able to eat leftovers again. And the bag lunch thing isn't working out either. This week, when Roderick was in charge of making lunches, he wrote a note on my bag, just like Mum does. "Dear Greg, make sure you change your diaper after lunch. Love, Mummy." I didn't even bother eating the sandwich since I've never seen Roderick wash his hands even once. My chore for the week is laundry, and I can't wait until my shift is over. For the record, I think it should be illegal for a boy to have to fold his mother's underwear. Friday. One of the big changes with Mum going to school is that now Dad's in charge of helping me with my homework. No offence to Dad, but Mum is way better at homework help than he is. When Mum helps me to do my homework, she basically gives me all the answers, and I'm in and out in 10 minutes. It's a whole different story with Dad. He wants to teach me how to do the work, and that's a lot more time consuming. Plus, it's been a long time since Dad was in school, so I have to sit there and wait while he reads my textbooks and gets caught up. But maths is the worst. I guess the way they teach maths these days is totally different from when they taught it when Dad was a kid. So he gets frustrated with the new rules and starts trying to teach me the way he learned it. No, you need to add the numbers in the column and carry the 4. What does carry mean? Dad also licks his finger and thumb to make it easier for him to turn the pages. And when he does that, I try to keep track of which pages he turns so I don't touch his spit. But with all those numbers in my head, it doesn't leave a lot of room for maths facts. I can tell when I've done something wrong because Dad gets kind of frustrated with me and he breathes really heavily out of his nose. So I've learned to put a dish towel on my arm whenever he were working on algebra. By the time it's over, 2 hours have gone by and it's time for me to go to bed. All I can say is I hope Mum wraps up her classes pretty soon because I'm a person who really needs his TV time at night. Monday. This maths thing is becoming a problem. We have standardised testing coming up at my school and I heard that the teachers won't get their bonuses unless we get good scores. So there's a lot of pressure on us kids, which kind of stinks. I remember back in kindergarten, maths used to be really fun. 1 chocolate chip cookie plus another chocolate chip cookie is 2 chocolate chip cookies. Mrs. McElroy says if we don't do well on the test, we'll lose our budget and music class will turn into detention or something like that. But I don't think kids are really getting the message. A few weeks ago we had a maths quiz and Mrs. McElroy said it was open notebook, which meant we could use our notes and textbooks to help us out. Then she left the classroom to take care of something and the second she stepped out of the door, it was total chaos. Practically everybody failed the quiz because people were using their notebook papers as ammunition. Okay, I'm going to stop there for today. I hope you're enjoying the book so far. Do you think that they're going to become friends again soon? Let me know what you think.